Hey everybody, Dennis from Ace Boas coming at you today. And today I just want to bring to you a new pickup. I've only had her about 10 days, but I usually wouldn't bring them out, but she's doing great. Let's put it that way. She's doing really well, and she's stable, and like I would expect who I bought her from to be everything she was promised to be, and I got to say she was. So these are a little bit less rare scene. This is Venezuela Boa, BC, and a lot less in collections. You don't see many of these, and I'm excited to have her. I got a pair, so hopefully someday, many years up the road, we can keep this rare line going. And a few things about this. I could give you a little bit of history of how they came to be. These are originally gotten from Gus Renfro. Gus sold them to a fellow with the last name of Atwari. I guess he had a situation in his life where he had to move them on, and they went to a fellow named Ron. I believe it was Ron Greenberg from Ron's Reptile was his exact name. And then from there, they went to a fellow named Mike Lucchese, I believe his last name is pronounced. And then from Mike, they went to Michael Beach, and some went to another fella, Brian. And that's about it that's out there. But that's the background on them. It's traceable right back to Gus, and these are the real deals. So few out there working with them. Hopefully we can keep them going. You know, and you hate when you see something go. But anyhow, that's not really what today's video is about. I've still been getting lots of questions about breeding. How do I know when my boa took? Did it take yet in a month? No, it didn't. More than likely it didn't. Not in a month. But anyhow, at least with I should say, let me strike that. Constrictor, not a month. And I'd say boas overall, probably not in a month. Although I guess there's some fast breedings out there. Right? It can happen as quick as a cleaning. So it can happen, but it's just, I find it rare for me anyway. So I'm going to try to answer some of those questions the best I can. I've done a few videos on this, but it still seems there's a lot of confusion out there. I do want to state that there's no one magical answer for any of this. So let's put it this way. I start by putting some of my boas together in September. I start with some of the BCC in late November. So I put them together, and one of the first things I look for, since people are always asking what to look for, is I look for interest. If there's any interest, number one would be a good sign. Number two is the female building through time, or is she losing weight through time? If she's losing weight through time, not a good sign. You might even want to think about pulling them apart. At least that's my opinion. If she's building through time and putting weight on, especially in her lower 2/3 of her body, that's a really good sign. That's a sign that probably follicles are producing, and hopefully eventually you get a gravid boa. Another sign I like to look for is it gets later in the season. Again, different boas, different times. In general, BCC will be after January 1st. For me, closer all the way to April. You'll see intense action. With that being said, intense action means tail wraps, spurring, climbing, following her all over the place. Now, with that said, I had a BCC Suriname this year take March 1st. So it can happen much sooner than that. I'm just saying in general. For example, I had a Peru that took 2 days ago. So there's an example, by the way, and I'll announce that now. My Palmerville Peru, I'd say is 100% pregnant. Gravid would be the word. And I'm just waiting for her to go in the shed. But, that's another sign. How do I know that she didn't go in the shed? Well, the male's doing what I call the dance. And the dance is the last 3 days, he's done nothing but beg to get out of that cage. He's moving all around the cage, following me on the glass. And some of you may ask, why is he still in there then? Well, I would say that's a sign that I'm 99.99% sure she is gravid when I see that. From all my boas, I see it from most of them. They ask to get out. You can tell. I think they lose their pheromones, and you can tell at that point, so can he naturally, usually a little bit before you, that she's no longer receptive to him and he wants the hell out of there. And it's a very noticeable motion. I mean, that snake, some snakes for me, will literally beg to get out of that cage. If they could speak, they'd be yelling till you get me out of here. So that's a really good sign when you see that. But I do wait until the post-ovulation shed just to be sure, because the worst thing you could do is pull a boa early. You know, a lot of times you'll also notice a male behavior. Maybe if they, like I use a lot of cut out oil tubs from Walmart, you know, naturally not used, brand new. I wash them and put them in there, brand new, for hides. And you'll see the males in there. You won't see them 2-3 months at a time. And then all of a sudden, starting at night, so they'll be out of there. And if you have another oil tub on the cool side, which by the way you should, you'll see them in there like all alone. And then, you know, sometimes he'll try to go back during the day once or twice, and the next thing you notice, he'll be out chasing you along the cage. And that's what happened with my Tara Hamaras. That's what happened with my cakewalkers this year. And that's a sign to definitely grab it. And in those cases, the Tara Hamara, the cakewalker, the one Suriname, have already had post-ovulation sheds. So, you know, I'm quite excited about them. I do cool. Me personally, do you have to cool? I don't know. That's up in the air. I do cool. I don't cool as much as I used to. I have vivid seasons in my rooms, though. I do get my room really hot during the summer. I mean, hot. It probably gets, you know, an ambient of 82 in there. I can set the air conditioner at. So there's definitely a season inside the room. For sure there's a season. Because then during the winter, I'll set it like 68, 69. So there is a big swing there. Ambient, big swing. Another thing you do want to do when you see that as soon as she goes in the post-ovulation shed, I'd up the temps back in our warm spot, back to your normal temps, or even a touch warmer. Like for me, I'll go all the way up. As long as there's room to get off, I'll go all the way 89, 90 even for me. I hate saying that because somebody will be in a small cage, for example, a little 4-foot cage, have half the cage of the heat pad, jacket the 90, have a tub over that, which will make it probably even warmer inside that tub, in a warm room during the spring and especially the summer months as she's gravid, and the next thing they'll have something go wrong and be like, oh, Ace Boas said he keeps on. I keep them at 90 if they can get off of it, far off of it. 6-foot cage minimum, 8-foot cage even better. As long as they can get off of it, I would go to 90 on the hot spot. The animal knows what it needs. But with that said, most of mine are set 89 and 90 once gravid. Regular temp would probably be 87, 88. We're not gravid for a boa year round. I don't do, again, on my boas year round, that's another question I get asked a lot. Do I do the temp dip? Except for the season in the room, I do not. I do have the seasonal room temperatures, but I don't dip the hot spot. There's really no need to. If you want to take down a degree or two, you can. Some of the best out there would disagree with me on that, but maybe they wouldn't, because again, the room is very seasonal. I cannot stress that enough. The room is extremely seasonal. So with that, I'm expecting tons of gravid boas this year. Tons being probably 7 total. I'm pretty excited. That's a lot for me. You know, that's about what I shoot for a year. Next year will probably be 10. And, you know, I just love doing it. And, again, I'm here for any is. You know, if you ever have a question, ask. You're going to get the honest truth from me. You always will, to the best of my ability. That's just what I do. I'm an open book. There is no secret. There is no special sauce that I'm doing that I'm not going to tell you. I'll try to guide you the best I can. I got to say, I do find a lot of people, and I think a lot of the experienced guys will say this, a lot of the people you tell, you know, exactly step by step, and you do the complete opposite. For example, I do not feed my females until they are gravid. I can't tell you how many people are like, hey, is she gravid yet? After asking me 50 questions, I fed her 3 times already. Well, I can't really tell you that then. You're not doing it the way I'm doing it. So, you know, the trick is if you're going to ask somebody, you're probably best off listening. Or you can get a guidelines and do it your own way. You know, in that case, one of those cases, their female did become gravid. I just, you know, I look for that building and stuff. And if you're feeding, it's hard to tell for me. But anyhow, please, comments. I'll answer them all. Please subscribe. I love the subscriptions. This will never be a monetary channel. It's not what I'm aiming for. But I do appreciate the subscriptions. You know, I want to get the word out there and a hobby out there. It's such a great hobby. But anyhow, folks, like I said, I've been busy. I've been doing my rat colonies and all that lately. The rats, man, they've gone to poop out there. Let's use that word. So I'm back to raising all my own. I offloaded a pallet of Missouri 6F the other day, and I got 10 bags of a Combac, I think it's pronounced with it. It's a little bit higher protein, so I like to get the moms and the babies a mixture of that with the 6F. But anyhow, I appreciate you following me. Over and out, Ace Boas, the next time.